Hey folks, Chris Lempesis, host of the podcast Lemps Talk and Pack, available exclusively on PackersTalk.com. You might also know me as the guy who says fuck or variations of fuck incessantly on Twitter during Packers games. It's fun for the whole family. Coming to you from the basement pack room. This is, if you listen to the show, this is where I record the show every week. Got a ton of Packers stuff here. See if I can pan in. I got a piece of the frozen tundra that they sold off after the Super Bowl season 96 when they won it 97. A slightly deflated Brian Bulaga autograph football. Some other autographs up there. I got Pickett, Sitton, Santana Dotson. Some bobbleheads. I'm not sure if you can see those very well. Anyway, I got a ton of shit down here. I can't show you it all right now. But just coming to you tonight. Hope you're all having a nice Tuesday. Coming to you. I wanted to tell a story. I had said on Twitter last week I was going to tell a story on this week's episode of the podcast about just how insane I am as far as my Packers fandom. Because I saw something on Twitter last week that reminded me of a funny story. Now, if you listen to the show, I didn't get to tell it. I went really long and I completely forgot. So I thought I would tell you, and I would do a new thing. I would do a Twitter video. You can see my face. Does this angle make my face look fat? No, my face does. Anyway, so let's set the scene. October 25th, 2009, 10 years ago. The Packers, it's week 7, and the Packers are just getting ready to play the Cleveland Browns. Now, at the time, I worked for a nationwide ball cap. Just fucking lids. Okay, I worked for fucking lids. But you're like, Chris, you were 28 years old. You worked at lids? Don't you have a degree from the University of Minnesota? You're always carping about the Gophers. I've come so close to unfollowing you a million times because you tweet about the Gophers on Saturdays in the fall, and it drives me nuts. Well, let's just say shall we say I was between careers at that point. So I was working at Lids, great times, awesome stuff. Not to brag, I was an assistant manager taking in $9.50 an hour. That's pretty, hey. Come on, that's nothing to shake a stick at. So anyways, I was working at Lids. It sucked. And right before the season had started, they had instituted a policy where either a manager or an assistant manager had to be in the store on Sundays. And my manager, I was living in Minneapolis, working at Northtown Mall in Blaine, which, if you don't know, is a sort of very northern suburb of Minneapolis. It's, what do I say about Blaine and the Northtown Mall? Let's just say there were a lot of Jared Allen jerseys being worn by people that populated that mall. That's as nice as I can put it. A little WT, you know what I'm saying? So they instituted this policy, and my boss, the manager, was a big Viking fan. So we figured out we would just alternate Sundays. And I had been able to get around it up to that point of the Browns game. I'd gone to the Bears season opener, Cutler's first game. Great stuff. Shout out to Jay. And then there was a week 2 game against the Cincinnati Bengals that I had to work, and I was able to watch it. My boss. So if you do designs, we had an embroidery machine in the store. They give you a screen, like a TV, a flat screen, that you can show the customers the designs on. My boss had figured out that he could jerry-rig rabbit ears. Because, in a mall, it's just a big cement box. But he had figured out a way to jerry-rig these rabbit ears so we could get one channel, the CBS affiliate in Minneapolis, which the Packers happened to be playing on in week 2. So I worked that Sunday and I watched the game. The feed wasn't great, but I was able to watch the game in the store. The Packers lost, which sucked. Anyway, and then I'd actually had another funny story about my fandom a couple weeks later. Favre's first game against the Packers, the Monday night game at the Metrodome, I was supposed to work. And I paid a kid from another store, I paid him $30 to pick up my shift. So he made money, and I gave him $30, which at a whopping $9.50 an hour, I mean, $30 was not nothing. But the Packers lost again, and that sucked too, but I digress. So we get to the Browns game, and I've got to work. Now, if you lived in Minneapolis, living in Minneapolis at the time, there was a station you could, depending on where you were in the city, there was a station out of Wisconsin that broadcast, because, Minneapolis is really close to the border. There was a station out of Wisconsin that broadcast Packer games. I think it was in Hudson. And depending on where you were in the city, you could pick up that feed and listen to the game. We did have a radio in the store, so I thought, okay, well, I'll do that. No go. I did a test run, I think the Friday night before the game. Didn't work. Tried it Saturday afternoon. Didn't work. The game was on, I believe the game was on Fox. The rabbit ears thing wouldn't have worked anyways, even if it was on CBS, because someone from corporate had come down and found out about it. Or the district manager, who was a huge butthole, he had fucking come down and he found out that we had the rabbit ears and he made us take him down. He was not happy. So we thought it was great. We're like, hey, the customers can watch football. We sell sporting hats. They didn't like it. I actually can't believe they never fired me with all the rules I broke there. But yeah, so I done a test run trying to get the station, and I couldn't get it Friday. Thought maybe it'll be better during the day. Couldn't get it. So now I'm panicking because I should point out, this is the part of the story where I should point out I hadn't missed a Packer game. I haven't still all the way through since November of 1997, when the Packers, as defending Super Bowl champs, I'm actually wearing not the 96 Super Bowl champs, I'm wearing the 2010 Super Bowl 45 champs hoodie. They got to win another one because this shit is worn as fuck. I got some, like, I think it's either nacho cheese or mustard stains on this thing. So yeah. Where was I? Oh, right. So I hadn't missed the games, and I still haven't since November of 97, when they played the Indianapolis Colts. I was a sophomore in high school. I had my first girlfriend. Right? She invited me over to hang out at her house on Sunday. It was way out in the middle of nowhere. Her dad was a total redneck who literally showed me his gun. I think I told this story on the old pods that Adam and I used to do. But her dad was a total redneck. He literally, the first time I met him, he showed me his gun collection, I think to scare the shit out of me, and he succeeded. But so she invited me over to her house. I was out there hanging out. I thought, the Packers are defending Super Bowl champs. They're rolling. The Colts suck. They're going to win this game. And I went out there, and I didn't watch it all, and they lost. It was like 41-38. I think Jim Harbaugh was the quarterback. They lost. And I came home, and I'll never forget this. My dad looked at me and said, well, I hope you had fun with your girlfriend. Goddamn Packers lost. Thanks. As if it was my fault. But anyway, lesson learned. I was like, I'm never missing another game ever again. All the way through. It's never gonna happen again. And it hasn't 22 years later. But this was as close as I've ever come to missing a game. I didn't know what I was gonna do. And then it hit me. So this is what I did. I called my sister in Appleton. Shout out to Appleton, Darboy to be specific. I called my sister in Darboy and said, can you do me a favor? This is going to sound crazy, but I need you to help me out here because I don't want to miss the game. I know you guys have like a CD player upstairs in your house. Can you go upstairs? Sorry, hello, burp. Can you go upstairs and that's what I came up with. I asked my sister if she could flip the speaker upside down, take their house phone, turn the game on the radio, Wayne and Larry on the call, flip the speaker upside down, set her house phone on top of the speaker. I will call you. I will then use my phone. I'll put my phone on speaker. I worked, obviously, again, $9.50 an hour. I had this horrible Sony Ericsson, this little phone with like a flip lid. And the flip lid had broke, and I was so poor I had basically had to scotch tape the lid on at one point, and then that broke off and I just didn't have a lid, which is where I was at this point. Again, great times. So I took my phone, put it on speaker, and now basically used my phone as a radio. Because again, I didn't have a smartphone, $9.50 an hour. And I'm like, I know this sounds crazy. It's going to tie up your phone line for your house phone for 3 hours. But I can't. I just love this stupid football team too much. I can't miss. And thankfully, my sister was cool with it. She was like, yeah, we'll do it. That's fine. We did a test run. It worked. And I called her on Sunday right before kickoff. She went upstairs. She flipped the speaker, turned Wayne and Larry on loud, set the phone on top. Again, I put my phone on speaker and had it sitting right next to me on the counter. Didn't miss 1 second of the game. And, you could say, what was the Cleveland Browns? Like, they sucked. Like, of course the Packers are going to win. And they did, 31-3. Huge days from Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Grant. Thanks to the awesome, I always mention them on the pods, Packers history at Historic Packers for tweeting that and reminding me and then tweeting out some info about the game. So, yeah, the Packers won 31-3. I probably could have missed, but I can't miss. It's just, this shit is just in my blood. I can't fucking miss when the Packers play. So, I had the game on. Basically, I was listening to it on the radio via my phone 5 hours away in Appleton. But I didn't miss 1 second of the game. Packers won 31-3. So, if you ever doubt how hardcore I am about this team, doubt no more. And I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Sorry, I know I kind of have a face built for podcasting. But if you enjoyed watching this, feel free to share any stories you have about your fandom and how far you went to watch the Green Bay Packers play. Tell me about your dedication to not missing a game or specific game or set of games. I'd love to hear it. And again, hope you guys are having a nice Tuesday. Thanks for checking it out. Hopefully you're listening to the show on PackersTalk.com. Again, Chris Lempsis signing off. Go, Pack, go.